31-28, Kansas City Chiefs lose on Thanksgiving to the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys own Clark Hunt and the Kansas City Chiefs again. And here we are, 6-6. That might be it. Y'all. That might be it. Kent Swanson here with Maddie Lane. Maddie, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving game before you had to watch that game.
I don't know. I guess that's what a bunch of spoiled brats we are, because we're about to get on here and be very upset that the Chiefs just lost this game. But boy, it's hard to come out of this game and have anything but just being annoyed, being frustrated, being rather disappointed. The Chiefs made it close, right? But they sure felt lucky to be close towards the end of this game. It sure felt very lucky that they were hanging on by a thread to even have this be another one-score loss that they can chalk up to the old record book this year. I don't know, what pitiful performance. And I think all of the flaws that this team has had over the years, from team building, roster construction, play calling, the types of players they get, even some of the good players that they have and their inconsistencies, I think are all showing incredibly badly this year. And this game might have been the absolute pinnacle of that. And just every single thing that could possibly be wrong for this team kind of went wrong. And then the one thing that has been right for the past 7 years still pulled them within one score, but it just wasn't enough. And so, yeah, it is a frustrating way to end Thanksgiving, I do think.
Yeah, immensely frustrating for a lot of reasons, both with like today in the micro, just looking at today, and then like just the big picture, right? You nailed it, man. And like everything's falling apart here. This team, I can't trust them to win 5 games and win the rest of the season out. I just have no expectation or belief, because this team has continued to fail. They can't string anything together enough consistently, not just week to week, but in any game, to really give themselves a chance to win a football game. And this was just yet another complete failure by Andy Reid and this team. A horribly managed game, a horribly coached game, and not good enough when your back was against the wall. The Chiefs gave themselves some life on Sunday, and now they probably have to win out and get lucky. And they really don't control their own fate at this point, because they are way behind the 8 ball. Houston can about do them in 10 days. And good news is the Chiefs don't have either of their starting tackles right now, because both are out for this game against the Dallas Cowboys in the middle of the game. So there's that at least. Man, I don't even know where to start, Maddie. Like, there's 87 things I want to start with. There's so many things about this game that are frustrating. And I think what's really hard for me, and I'm not going to come in hot with, 3 minutes into the story with the refs, but man, just the cherry on top was having to watch how that game was officiated. There's so many little things about this. We will get some of these. And by the way, we will get these super chats up here too, because there's plenty of Chiefs to this that needs to happen here. I think we all need to rage. That's something that needs to happen here. So I don't know. Where do you want to start with this?
I don't know. Here's the problem, right? I think the issue for this game was I don't think the Cowboys are a bad football team. I think they're a solid, if not even better, especially now after some of these moves that they made at the trade deadline, and they got a little bit healthier, like with Overshawn coming back. I think they're actually a pretty decent team. So yeah, a 1-score loss to Dallas on short rest on the road isn't the end of the world. The problem that I'm having right now is we just went through this Indianapolis Colts game where the Chiefs looked terrible for 3.5 quarters and then somehow figured it out. And it was like nothing that they figured out defensively or offensively translated to this game whatsoever. Like nothing that they quote unquote figured out to breathe life back into this team for the season translated at all to this football game. And it looked like just every myriad of issues that they have been facing all year were right back at the forefront as they struggled to do anything that resembled play solid football. And then, yeah, again, I know it was close, but like a lot of the closest, some of Patrick Mahomes' play, it was up and down in this game, but like he was making some hella throws. He was making some crazy plays in this game to keep it close. And then we just, defensively, they couldn't stop anything. Offensively, it was gross. I don't even care. You can start wherever you want to go. I think that you have a better plan. Right now, I just want to be angry. I don't have any structure. I just want to be angry right now.
I think that's kind of how I feel too, man. I mean, there's so many little things that I want to rage about. Like, I'm mad that the Chiefs just abandoned the under center run plays for like a giant stretch of the game, and the run game absolutely did not work. I am disgusted by the punting decisions from Andy Reid and not being aggressive, and the Cowboys getting back to where the Chiefs were when they had a chance to go for it on 4th down and 4 in 3 plays. I mean, I'm mad. I'm trying not to be too mad at the refs either, because they were the turkey today on the Thanksgiving table too. They were making it about them the whole game, and every single call in this game did not go the directions of the Kansas City Chiefs. Every single PI was called. They refused to let them play even a little bit the entirety of the game. I think they got a token OPI penalty late. I'm just like, all of it was so frustrating. The pass rush, non-existent. Not good enough. The tackling. Shamari Connor, back against the wall. 2nd and short because you can't tackle. Just all of it. No special teams penalties today. That was cool. They cleaned that one up. Shout out Dave Tobe, cleaning that up. B Green saying the slant is clearly an unguardable play. Derek Turner, need to start having conversations about Spags. I think on the list, Spags is the least of our problems. I think Spags' problem is.
You think that? They stopped the Dallas Cowboys 2 times all game. They had 2 stops this entire game. There was not a single time the Dallas Cowboys took the ball and you thought they were getting a stop. You cannot lie to me and tell me that there is a single time they took the ball and you were like, oh, the Chiefs are getting a stop here. Now, I like Steve Spagnuolo. I think Steve Spagnuolo is a great defensive coordinator. I think his thing is having one-off game plans that are going to beat opposing teams. The problem you run into with a team like the Dallas Cowboys is when they have a quarterback that is playing as well as Dak Prescott was, and they have 2 wide receivers who can win one-on-ones at the rate that they do. It doesn't matter what you scheme up. It's really hard to stop that through scheme, and that is where Spagnuolo shines, right? It's obviously not the personnel. It's obviously not like the defensive roster that they have built. It's not their ability to just rush 4 and play a bunch of guys in coverage. Like, that's not what they do. Their entire concept is like, we're going to mix up our coverages. We're going to mix up where our pressure comes from. Can you handle that? And very few teams, even the best teams. I mean, we've seen Spags get Tom Brady. We've seen Spags get Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Anybody you want, he has gotten. The problem comes in when you go up against a team like the Cowboys, who can literally just run slants and curl and hit and comebacks on the outside all game long. You can't do any of that. There's no coverage confusion that you can throw at them. You can't get home with your zone blitzes against this style of offense. And like, that is ultimately where they failed. So on one hand, yes, I think Spags is the least of the Chiefs' issues. On the other hand, this defensive roster that he has signed off on is ass. So
it's bad. It is so bad. They have no pass rush. And like, there's too much pressure on Chris already, but Chris also, like, he can't week in, week out take over games. And he was incredible the last 2 weeks, but it wasn't the same as it has been the last 2 weeks. And that makes it tough because he's literally it. Like, he's backpacking this entire pass rush. And the Chiefs tried to get home with 4 as much as they could because they were terrified of what would happen with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb.
2 bad offensive tackles. I went at it against 2 pretty bad offensive tackles.
Yeah. And it doesn't help when the Chiefs were literally not allowed to play defense at all outside. Like, they
No, I'm not doing this. We're not doing this. Get better. No, we're not doing this.
I will say, look, Trent was terrible today. It didn't matter who he lined up against. CD, Pickens, he got owned. Pickens literally posterized him. Like,
CeeDee Lamb was abusing him all game long. They literally had to hide Trent McDuffie from CeeDee Lamb as this game went on. Like, you can convince me that George Pickens versus Trent isn't a great matchup because he is one of the best catch point receivers. So you don't want that versus Trent because that's his weakness. The type of receiver that Trent McDuffie is supposed to match up well against is CeeDee Lamb, a shiftier route running guy that tries to win by separation on hard breaks. CeeDee Lamb did dirty things to Trent McDuffie all game long. They literally had to go hide Trent McDuffie on Flournoy half the time because he was getting torched by Lamb. No, be better. Yeah, some of these DPIs or holdings were kind of soft, but guess what? If you're a good wide receiver and use your hands, you're going to make somebody grab and hold you to slow you down. And if they see you do it, they're going to call it. It's unfortunate. We can say it's soft. That's not why you got beat. You got beat because Jalen Watson can't stop a slant and because Trent McDuffie could literally, in a million tries, could not stop CeeDee Lamb from getting open one time.
Doing anything. It was insane. And it was a bad matchup for this team. It was a terrible matchup for this team. And they got absolutely dominated in this one. And so many failures. You pin them down to the 10-yard line after 3 and out after 2 drops from your 2 best skill players and Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice. You pin him back to the 10 on a holding call on special teams for the first time. That's not a special teams penalty on the Chiefs. And what do? They just take it over the top. They just go over the top. George Pickens over, or CD, was that CD over Shamari? Which one was posterizing some Shamari there? The most fitting thing, Chiefs run a cat blitz, try to get home with some pressure, and Shamari Connor is the one that gets bopped in coverage. They had no answers. Levon, we're watching these picks, these videos right now. Tried to backpack late and did some great things to try to make some plays with, down 2 starting tackles. Man, I don't know. I'm angry. I'm mad. I'm frustrated. I think it's all of it. I think you're right. Like this is going to be a lot. I think this is going to be an all over the map. Like trying to get micro about every single thing it's not going to be fruitful today. I think everybody else is probably all over the map too. It's just, there's so much frustration just seeping out of me right now. And I'm sure tomorrow when we hold a funeral for the 2025 Kansas City Chiefs, we can express gratitude and smile because it happened and all that. But man, it is really tough to swallow this pill right now to watch what happened to this team. And you're right. Like, I think it's everything. Like, everyone shares a piece of this. Andy, I don't want to read a quote from Andy Reid. Oh, it's penalties. We got to get that cleaned up. You ran out of time to get it cleaned up. You ran out of time. You have no time. There is no more time, Andy. It's over. You have to win out. You have not been able to clean it up. You have failed again. For what a horribly coached game. We gotta avoid the penalties. It's over. You completely ran out of time. Every shred of momentum you might gain week over week for the first 12 weeks, you would just give it away. And again, 119 yards in penalties today from the Kansas City Chiefs. Not all of them were of the ticky-tack PI nature either. Just egregious, disgusting performance. This horribly coached. We gotta be better. Yeah, you do, but you ran out of time.
Yeah, nothing's going to frustrate me more than hearing Andy boil this down to penalties in this game. And
penalties.
Obviously, if you don't commit the 800 penalties that you were called for in this game, you probably win. But you can't get put in the position to get called for some of them. And you know what? Here it is. At the end of the day, I think the Cowboys again are a pretty solid football team.
They are. I hold on. I will say, so Steven Steiner says, hey, got beat by a terrible Cowboys team. Franchise needs a reboot. Reed and Veach need to be fired out about that. Wasting Mahomes' time and talent. Cowboys are way better, especially coming out of the bye week, than they were early in the season. They've added some defensive talent to that team. That front seven's a lot better than, and Damari Van Overshown comes back. That front seven's a lot better than it was 2 months ago. That's just
they're a pretty good. They're a pretty good football team. If their their secondary is not good, But like the rest of that team's pretty solid. I mean, across the board. I think then they have two playmakers who are practically unstoppable, and then you have Dak Prescott that a lot of times can play like a top 5 quarterback. So like, yeah, I think they're a pretty good team. So I want to make sure that we give Dallas some credit for how this went down because they deserved it. I thought they played a better football game than the Chiefs did. I think that the Chiefs committed bad penalties. The Chiefs got called for some ticky-tack penalties they absolutely shouldn't have. But in the years past, this Chiefs team doesn't lose this game, even to a pretty good Cowboys team, right? They get a stop at some point in time in the stretch to give Mahomes a chance to go down and tie it or win the game. They don't go the second and third quarter without scoring a single point, right? This Chiefs team in the past overcomes a series or two of these penalties. They get stops when they need to. They come up with the interception that they throw on the ground. They recover the fumble if they can't recover. So like, I don't want to take it away and say the refereeing was good, the officiating wasn't terrible in this football game, because it obviously was. That's just not why the Chiefs lost. The Chiefs lost because they aren't good enough to overcome that. Now, you can spend all your time focusing on the penalties we committed, or you can spend the time focusing on the fact that you're just not good enough. And I feel like when Andy Reid talks, I don't know what happens in the locker room, but when he talks and tries to boil it all down to overcoming these penalties they committed, that's annoying because we all watch them play and not be good enough even when they're not committing penalties. The penalties aren't the sole reason that they lost this game. They're not even close. So we don't need to harp on that. Let's focus on something else that you can actually fix going forward. You know what you can't fix going forward? This ref crew calling a lot of really ticky-tack DPIs and holdings. You can't fix that.
There's no changing. There's a ticky-tack OPI on Xavier Worthy too.
There's no changing that. There's no changing Josh Simmons getting called for bullying somebody into the ground. Like, you can't change that moving forward. That doesn't change. But you know what can change? You not calling a tight end screen on 1st and 20 when there's no reason the Dallas Cowboys will ever blitz and picking up 1 yard. You know what you can change? Not abandoning the under center run game for the lackluster shotgun run game in the middle of this game, and it's not working. You know what you can change? Maybe not running the same mesh play 800 times and only having one wide receiver on your football team that can do something named Rashee Rice. Like, there is stuff you can change about this team, but they get so hyper fixated on their little mistakes that are quote unquote costing them rather than actually becoming a better football team. And that is where I get annoyed, because what we saw throughout this game is not what we saw to finish the Colts game. That team, that stretch that we saw to end the Colts game, wins this game, but they don't play like that all the time because they're too busy talking about penalties. They're too busy worrying about not shooting themselves in the foot. And that is why it's incredibly annoying. They have shown zero upward development this year. They have shown no growth this entire season, and they always falls back to, oh, we're just making a couple mistakes that we got to fix. No, you got to be better, and they just aren't being better at all.
And that argument used to work, and that excuse used to work, and it just doesn't anymore because you don't win those games anymore. You have no margin. The margin's gone. And the margin just got slimmer, potentially. Josh Simmons just exited the locker room with a cast on his left wrist. That is from Nate Taylor.
Yeah.
So
they ruled him out pretty quick.
Yes, they did.
They ruled him out pretty quick.
And not to get too, too out ahead of it either. The Chiefs play the best defense in football next week, and both tackles got ruled out. Just Shugati 12-7-7. Andy once again went away from the run, which was working to keep Dak off the field. I think it was the run plays they called. I think a lot of gun runs. And, hey, the under center was in the first 15, and then it was just not there the rest of the game. Like, great. Bumpa BB saying this game ended. McDuffie extension talks. I don't know about that, but maybe you trade him. I don't know. This is so fun, guys.
No,
this is
not.
So fun. This is sarcasm. Sarcasm.
This is incredibly unfun. I'm having a terrible time, Kent. Let me just be clear. I'm having a terrible time.
Jokes are a coping mechanism for me. I think another coping mechanism for me is Tucker Franklin. So why don't we just take a break?
Oh.
And we'll let Tucker cook for a while after this.
Just a short drive from Kansas City. Experience the history, the heritage, and the bourbon at Holiday Distillery. Tour Missouri's oldest distillery, where real Missouri bourbon is made the old-fashioned way. Walk the grounds, taste the tradition, and take home a bottle of something special. Make the trip, sip the story. Holiday Distillery, Weston, Missouri. Book your tour at holidaydistillery.com.
I'm Brett Goodwin, one of the owners of The Learning Tree. The Learning Tree is a neighborhood toy store in Prairie Village, Kansas. This has been here in this location since 2000s, and my husband Alan and I purchased the store in 2023. Alan and I grew up in families where we've always wanted to have a business together. Alan grew up, for instance, his parents had a jewelry store. I worked in a local toy store here in Prairie Village when I was growing up. When this opportunity happened in 2023, we knew right away we wanted to contact them and pursue the store. We wouldn't have been able to get the store without the team at Emprise Bank. From the day we contacted them, they knew what we needed to do, which was very helpful. I would absolutely recommend the team at Emprise Bank to anyone looking to secure a business. We worked with Emprise from day one. They were extremely helpful. They were always great resources. We talk to them frequently. They know the area. They're very friendly. We know who we're going to talk with, and they know what we need to do. We hope we'll see you at the Learning Tree.
Missouri, big news. It's almost your turn to get in the game because DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to the Show Me State on December 1st. Soon you'll get fast payouts when you win, a safe and secure app that's easy to use, and promos that keep the action going all season long. No wonder it's America's top-rated sportsbook app. The countdown is on. New customers can sign up right now and score $300 in bonus bets on launch day. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KCSN. New Missouri customers sign up today and score $300 in bonus bets once we're live. That's code KCSN. The crown is yours. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply, subject to regulatory licensing requirements. Bonus bets are not withdrawable and expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
31-28 Chiefs lose to the Dallas Cowboys. This is a fun stat from Craig Stout. Chiefs haven't registered a sack in 11 quarters, and even that was the first drive against the Denver Broncos. That is just, if that ain't telling, I don't know what is. Tucker Franklin's here.
Yeah.
How you feel, Tuck?
I've felt better. That was, I don't know how you guys felt, and I had talked about this before. I had made a tweet. I can't remember. I think it was the Broncos game. I made a tweet about I can't wait for the Chiefs to ruin Thanksgiving and Christmas. And somebody responded to me today and said, "Well, the good news is since they have ruined Thanksgiving, it's going to be really hard for them to ruin Christmas because Christmas probably won't matter." At this rate. So at least that we have that silver lining to look forward to is that Christmas game will not matter against the Denver Broncos because look, I don't really think it's hyperbole to say that this is it. Like I don't think this is hyperbole to say that this season is cooked at this point. You look at Ken, I know you brought it up. They play the Texans next week with presumably without their left tackle
Maybe their right tackle.
And maybe not their right tackle. And that defense just took the Buffalo Bills
and
for
maybe
8
not
sacks.
their right guard.
And maybe not their right, and maybe not their backup tight end. And maybe not a pass rush. But they hadn't had that all year. This game is so frustrating because I've talked about this before. It just seems like all of these games are the same damn thing, guys. It seems like it is the same game every single time we watch a football game. It's the same thing over and over. And while, yes, the officiating was dog shit, it's been dog shit all year. Like, that's not a new thing for the NFL. The NFL officiating has been so bad. And, Maddie, I think you and I were talking about this. This team has shown the ability to overcome penalties before. The fact that they're just straight up not doing it is the big problem. And I know a lot of people want to say, like, oh, they let Mahomes down in this game. Mahomes did have a pretty good game, but there were some times, man, Mahomes was not. I mean, there's sometimes Mahomes was the problem. And it could be a combination of the factors of he finally got comfortable behind an offensive line, and now they're all hurt. Now he's got to deal with Hunter Norzad coming in the game and being their sixth offensive lineman. Like, maybe that's probably a combination of it. But, man, there was a third down play to Rashee Rice on, I think he was a little drag across the field where that ball was just not in the same zip code, man. Like,
he sailed that bad boy.
And that's a pass he usually makes like 10 times out of 10. And there's some stuff there that just like, nothing looks easy on either side of the football for this team. And that's what's so frustrating because it should be, right? Like, in theory, you look at all the pieces that they have. They've got a pretty good offensive line when healthy. They've got the best quarterback in the world. Like, their running back room is dog water, and it's not very good. The receivers should be good. You look at the individual pieces, and you say, okay, as a whole, this should be good. But it's not. It's not good. And that's what's so frustrating about it. And I think that's where it comes down to where a lot of people's frustrations are with the play calling, with the scheme and everything like that. That's where people's frustrations get to because you look at the individual pieces and think, well, this team should be good. Well, maybe the wide receivers just suck. Maybe that's what it actually is. Maybe those wide receivers actually aren't good. And maybe not having a running back is a bigger deal than we previously anticipated it for be. And, maybe just having an offensive line that's inconsistent also isn't great. Now, do I still think this offensive line is better than it was last year? Absolutely. But it doesn't seem like Patrick Mahomes is very comfortable behind this offense. I think you're still seeing some PTSD from last year's offensive line with him. It just doesn't look like there's a comfort level with him there when it comes for throwing the football. And I've also noticed him and Travis Kelce are not on the same page as much. Like this year in particular, they've been off the same page more than ever in this presumably final year of the Travis Kelce era. But man, what just a disappointing game. After the Chiefs defense goes out there, stands on their heads to keep their season alive against the Indianapolis Colts, they go out there and put on a historical stinker. That might be Trent McDuffie's worst football game he's played maybe in his career. I don't even want to say professional career, maybe all the way back to high school. That's been his worst football game. I know there were some ticky-tack fouls. I don't care, really. I don't really care about that. You got to make some more plays. Like CeeDee Lamb was sunning him all the way down the field. George Pickens made absolutely ridiculous catches on everyone in the Chiefs defense. Frankly, just unacceptable all around. They had plenty of times where they could get turnovers and flip the momentum, and they didn't. They had dropped interceptions. They had a fumble that they just let sit on the ground and let Turpin run from halfway across the field to go sit on when they had four guys in the area, and they had another interception that they could have caught and it didn't work. But that's what's so frustrating is nothing can be consistent about this team. And this is why the Chiefs suck, because they're so inconsistent. And this team just sucks. They frankly, I don't know where I'm going to put them on the ass list. I made my own tier for them a couple weeks ago. It was a sorry ass team. This is a sorry ass team. They can't. They're so inconsistent. It's so frustrating, Kent.
Well, we've got the we've got the quote from Andy.
No.
Oh, good.
I don't want to do it.
Chiefs get called for 10 penalties for 119 today. Cowboys 7 for 50. Andy Reid, I'm not always going to agree with the call, but the calls were made.
Sure.
So it's no longer that we have to clean up the penalties. It is now the ref's fault. So that's nice. Yeah, Tuck, I
unloaded a lot. I trauma dumped on you guys as soon as I got on the stream.
Man. You're fine. This is what this is for, dude. I mean, there's really no other way to like.
Oh, sorry. I just saw a tweet that really just got me going again, and it was about punting. They punted, 3 times in plus territory. Yeah. Miss me with that.
Horribly coached.
You're supposed to have a really good field goal kicker, and you're just not going to use him. I know he missed it a couple times.
Hold on. He a really good. He's
the highest paid kicker in the NFL, and you're telling me you're not going to use him?
I also you want to get wild with it, and I just thought about this. Are we sure that they weren't terrified of Brandon Aubrey's leg? Like not going for it in that area of the field just because they're like 6 yards from his range.
Fair, but then that would be par for the course of this coaching staff just trying to big brain
afraid
everything.
Yeah. To trust that defense that hasn't done anything all day.
Right.
so they can,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this.
Let's throw some super chats up and give you a break. Why don't we do
Okay.
that? Or do you have something?
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with Tucker a little bit that at some point in time, like in the middle stretch of this game, in that second and third quarter, it did feel like Mahomes was very much part of the issue. But as this game went on, he more than made up for whatever was his part of the issue in that time to keep them in close. And like I think that's ultimately where it always comes down to with Mahomes. Like if you go drive by drive, you can find some where he does some incredibly dumb stuff. I think the final touchdown drive was probably a great example. That first sack he takes on first down was incredibly stupid. I don't know what we were doing. And then the next couple plays he makes, you're like, oh, okay, well, nobody else can do that. So is it really that big of a deal? And like, it doesn't make the mistake go away, but he works and makes up for it. So like, I think some people are going to be quick to jump on Mahomes and claim that he's declining. The dude just had 270 yards and 4 touchdowns, throwing to a bunch of bum players besides Rashee Rice, who's like just, a bum a quarter of the time when he's dropping the ball. But the rest of it, like,
he's bum adjacent.
That's the only reliable player they have. And he still can't beat man coverage. He's still just going to run crossers. So it's pretty easy to not even double him. You don't even have to you don't have to call a direct bracket or double coverage to get multiple eyes on Rashee Rice because you know where he's going to be because that's all they ask him to do, and that's what he's really good at. This Chiefs passing game is so bad. There is no way that Andy Reid can get Patrick Mahomes into a rhythm. And this is regardless of how well you think he's playing, look at Dak Prescott, right? They get him into a rhythm. They give him a bunch of easy, quick throws that are not stressful. They're pretty routine and they move down the field. And then once you get him into a rhythm, now you start having him do more difficult things. That's how every offense in the entire world acts, except for the Chiefs. Theirs is, we're going to smoke and mirrors and bullshit you into 10 yards. And then when that stops working, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes run around like a chicken with your head cut off and wait till somebody who ran mesh and is covered up uncovers again. Like that's the entire plan. And it's getting really tiresome and really old at this point in time. So beyond just the coaching decisions, these coaching decisions need to do something else, anything. And if you can't because your personnel's that bad, well, that's unfortunate for you. You should have signed off on all of them and brought them in here. But at the end of the day, do something that takes some pressure off of your quarterback. He is doing everything that he possibly can to keep you in these games. Everyone's being hypercritical of the one mistake he makes, and he is carrying 100% of the load of the burden of this team to be good is 100% on Patrick Mahomes' shoulders. Andy takes none of it anymore. All he's doing over here is calling dumbass tight end screens to a 39-year-old tight end who can barely run and trying to get Jared Wiley. Hey, the play worked, I guess. Trying to get Jared Wiley out in the flat on 4th and 1. That's
from the gun. After you didn't go under center on 3rd and 1.
Yeah. You have to. Whenever you have the opportunity to get Jared Wiley his first target on 4th and 1, you got to do it.
Jared Wiley, it's Texas, man.
But it worked. That's the thing. No, this is the thing. It worked. And that's the most annoying part. That play worked, and that's going to justify them going back to the well and trying to call this bullshit again because it worked.
And Maddie, you did a lot there too, and I agree with a lot of it. I don't think, I think Andy did some lifting, and I think Andy did do some lifting here, and I think he's carrying a bigger burden than you're saying because Sam McDowell asked Andy Reid about the 2 second half decisions in particular when it comes to some of the punts, and he said he felt good about the playing the field position game, and then he said, "Put that on me." So. You know what, Maddie? He is putting a lot on him.
He did the Eli Drinkwitz thing.
This is what Eli putting it on him. Game. So let's give him some credit there, okay?
Because he won't change.
It's Joseph Jackson. I know I'm in the minority, but the best thing for this team would be to miss the playoffs to force major change.
What's the major change? I don't think that. Is the major change gonna come from this?
I think the major change would be overhauling the roster and Mike Kafka coming back.
That's not major, though. That's the problem. We've convinced ourselves that that's major, and it's not.
Tater's World, the one time we hit Dak, he threw X a pick.
Yeah.
Defense was awful. Same crap over and over. Drops 27. D-line sucks. Number 4. Or no 4th down attempts. Yep. Take your vitamins. Andy and Spag's scheme is outdated. Spag's affinity for Connor in the slot needs to be studied. Joseph Jackson, the offense is stale. The defense is predictable. The special teams are terrible. The coaching staff is stuck in their ways. And oh, by the way, They are $1 billion over the cap next year.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Jacob LaRue, this team has a penalty problem. Refs were bad, but still we wipe out too many big plays. That is also true. I think both. And look, I'm frustrated at the refs, and like I'm irritated because like at the despite all of the mistakes and the dumbness of this team this year, the one-sidedness of the officiating was infuriating. But that doesn't mean that it's not true that this team.
Yeah, the refs obviously played a role. Like, I want to be clear. The refs obviously played a role, and like it's not even the defensive stuff. The dumb holding penalty that was called on Josh Simmons, and then the OPI on Xavier Worthy. Both those take away first down plays that ultimately result in the Chiefs punting on those drives. Right? Like that's inexcusable. That was terrible officiating on both those plays. The thing is, in the past, the Chiefs still converted one of those and went on to go score on that drive, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. This year's team can't. So we can't let bad refereeing or bad officiating like hide the fact that the team just isn't good enough anymore. Like that's what needs to be the lead, not that they got screwed. So I know you were saying that. I want to be very clear. The refs sucked. We all know it. It's just the team also isn't good enough.
Fun stat here from Optus Stats. The Chiefs committed 5 pass interference penalties in the second half, 4 on defense, 1 on offense. That's the most pass interference penalties by any NFL team in the second half of a game in the last 35 seasons. Tucker Franklin wasn't alive the last
That's
time
true.
that happened.
I wasn't.
Yemi Assassin, what does accountability look like? Mentioning firing staffs. Staff makes you look crazy unless you name Nagy. I know injuries, but team isn't going to the playoffs. Hey, hard to argue. B Green's glad we paid George Karlaftis.
He was active for the game today, right?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, I just want to double check.
Ted Lasso's mustache. I don't remember what it was like in Philly when Andy was on his way out, but was it like this?
Yes.
Yeah. Mike Personage. The offense needs better coaching. The defense needs talent. I think so. Bourbon Hall. Is there a way we can pool funds to bribe the league to flex us off Christmas? I'm cool with that one.
Wow.
Can we get flexed out? Ross Sawyer wasting a year of Mahomes' prime due to hubris is what is hard to deal with. Perry, how about second and long, 3 guys run hitches?
I saw that. They did the replay where they go to all the wide receiver routes because Patrick Mahomes took
squatting on it.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes took like an 11-second sack, which was super sick as well. But then you had Hollywood Brown do the hitch, and then he spun out and then did another hitch and then spun out. Like he did the same thing 3 times down the field, and it's just like awesome, guys. Like this is really effective. Great play call.
The funny thing is the Cowboys even had the hitches and goes locked up too. Like they tried like the squirrel route, which is like a hitch to a vertical to a comeback, and they squatted on that too. Like they knew everything. They were locked in there. Derek Turner, bring back the 2019 and 2020 offensive staff.
I don't think it'd be different.
Matt Evell, in my opinion, Chiefs should have tried for a mid-dynasty rebuild by selling off some of their older great players, such as Jones, for some easy firsts, some early firsts. I'm assuming similar to what they did. What the Patriots did with Seymour Moss in 2009.
Hey, if only somebody talked about how this past offseason was the perfect chance for them to start rebuilding or to try to hang on and see if it falls off a cliff.
And then it did.
They did the latter.
Well, and yeah, this team needs an injection of talent, and
but they're not going to have any extra resource. They don't have anything to sell off anymore. They don't have any ability to get extra resources anymore. Like that's the issue. So
it's Trent and it's Chris. Charles Michael Sinclair. Should the Chiefs fire Nagy and rehire Bieniemy? No.
Yeah, they should actually.
Yes,
they should also re-sign Jamal Charles too while they're at it.
It's going to be rude.
Sorry,
Charles. I will. Hey, and what we do need to get in something here. Steven Steiner, Reed's ending in Philly was just like this year in Kansas City. He owned the roster control just like this. Hardest part in the NFL is finding a generational quarterback. We have that. Mahomes carried Reed to 3 Super Bowls. I mean, I think the first stuff is it's very obvious that, man, something's got to change big time this offseason. And if they They don't. They got some problems. Derek Sutton, we paid George and Bolton for absolutely no reason. Golden Child Gaming, the DPI against McDuffie when CD pushes into him would have ended in a 4th and long. Instead, it's a first. Yeah, no, there was some game-changing calls for sure. The Chiefs just also weren't. The Chiefs were bad. The Chiefs weren't good. It's the same song and dance over and over again. And the roller coaster of, hey, we're back, it's over, it's about done. I think they could go beat Houston next week and I'm not going to feel good.
No,
I wasn't really going to feel good after this one, but the margin's entirely, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. I don't think I was.
I felt great going into this one. I thought they were turning a corner, and I thought they were going to win this game. And if you win this game, all you have to do is beat the teams that you're coming up against to take back some of the tiebreakers. I mean, get one against the Houston Texans, get back to even against the Chargers. Like, I felt pretty good about where they were going out of it. And if you long term, if you're going to game it out, this is the one game the rest of the way that you could afford to lose. The Chiefs are by no means dead, and like they obviously have to get that across the players. But boy, it sure was a tough look just like kind of watching how this game went down. I think is more so than the loss. It's just like how they went about it and how it was the exact same issues they've had all year. And then now the offensive line is falling apart, which doesn't help.
Oh, this is great. This is great. Ask Chris Jones how he anticipates this team will respond to 6-6. We'll respond.
Yeah, good. Sick.
Okay.
Sick.
You don't have they don't have they didn't have time to respond. They didn't need a response. They needed to sustain success for more than 1 week. The time to respond's over. It's gone. The margin is completely gone. It's not a response. There is no time to respond. Patrick Mahomes says they have to run the table and get some help. Added later, we can beat anybody, but we've shown that we can lose to anybody, and we have to be more consistent. That's not what this whole thing's been about for the last few years. None of that statement.
Did you see this quote? Charles Goldman tweeted this out 28 seconds ago. Andy Reid says that Brian Cook has a right ankle injury. Jawan Taylor has a triceps injury is what his is. That's even worse.
Out with the triceps is not giving me warm fuzzies that this team will be playing.
And we already know that Josh Simmons hurt his wrist, but he's in a cast and a sling.
Just brutal because we know how bad Wanya Morris has been. He was really bad in this game.
You see his first snap in, he got steamrolled.
Listen, okay, we want to say the Chiefs got a lot of help from the refs or like got screwed by the refs. Fine, whatever. Go watch Wanya Morris's reps and tell me that guy shouldn't have 4 holding penalties in this game, though. So, maybe water finds its level a little bit. However, I do want to go to the Jalen Moore side. Yikes, that was not good. For anybody that wanted Jalen Moore to start over Jawan Taylor, watch this game because the Cowboys don't have great defensive ends, and Jalen Moore was struggling to get up the arc all game long. He was struggling to do it off the right side. Yeah, Tucker's right. They probably should have moved him over to left tackle once Simmons left because we at least saw him play acceptable over there. And then you let Wanya Morris, who's somehow better at right tackle, than left. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what they do next week. I just wanted to say, like, the backup offensive tackles did not inspire much faith in how they played once they came in. So that's not a great situation.
All right. Final thoughts from you, Tuck.
My final thought is listen to That Football Show, which will be airing tomorrow. Matt Verderm and I are going to record after this. So, I'm recording on Thanksgiving to give you guys. The Chiefs have ruined our Thanksgiving already enough. So, we're going to record it. We'll have That Football Show for you tomorrow, mid-morning to afternoon. That's my final thought.
Maddie?
Listen, we're doing the angry thing now. I don't know what the lab's going to bring, so I'm just going to get it off my chest now. It ultimately didn't matter. But Xavier Worthy catching that ball on that final offensive drive and somehow producing absolutely zero extra yardage when the only thing between him and the end zone was a blocker and 1.5 defenders was one of the most embarrassing displays of football and got that dog in performance I have ever seen. I don't care about the shoulder injury. I don't care about the ankle. You are the fastest man in the NFL, and you're telling me that you cannot at any point in time to put your foot in the ground and turn up field and outrun somebody or reverse your field and outrun somebody. That was such a disgusting ick of a play. Plus the offsides, attempted bucket catch, never attacking the ball. I cannot watch this man play wide receiver anymore and not just be disgusted with some of the play that he puts out there. And sometimes it's effort, sometimes it's technique. It's so bad. It hurts my soul to watch somebody play wide receiver the way he does. Follow that.
He was just trying to get out of bounds, though, right? Is that like the thought process there?
4 catches, 61 yards for Xavier Worthy.
And 42 of them was on one play that he was wide open, that Mahomes did all the work, and then he proceeded to pick up 0 yards after the catch because he ran straight sideways despite having a blocker.
Yeah, and no one in front of him.
I'm gonna end this show with one more Andy Reid quote from Charles Goldman. The guys know. They understand we've got to clean a few things up. We've got to do better as coaches. We've got to do better as players. You go back to the drawing board.
Cool.
You don't quit. We're close here. We are close. We are close. No, we're close.
Actually, they are. We are close. You know how close they are? I'm sorry. This supports this. This year, down 6 with 2:37 left in week 1, the Chiefs never got the ball back, but they were only down 6. Down 3 with 3 minutes left in week 2, Chiefs offense never got the ball back. Up 4 with 1:45 left in week 5, D gives up the lead. They are tied with 2:59 left in week 11, never get the ball back. Down 3 with 3:27 left today, offense never gets the ball back. They are close if the defense can make a stop. Problem is the defense can't make a stop.
We're close.
I got one more.
You didn't say
too.
Close to what?
That's true. That's true.
We're close, guys.
Benefit of the doubt.
Very close.
They're making me close to absolutely losing my shit. They are close for that. Last stat that I have here: the Chiefs have lost 5 road games this season. That's the most in the Patrick Mahomes era, and the second most since Andy Reid took over in 2013.
That's gonna do it for the KCSN postgame show. We're thankful for you for listening and watching.
Yeah.
We're thankful for this football team and the dynasty and all the Super Bowl rings. But boy, howdy.
But not right now.
Rough day. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll catch you later.